Sringara, the emotion of love. Some stories begin with a glance, others with absence. In the quiet curve of a smile, in the ache of separation, in the soft defiance of waiting, Sringara reveals itself. It is the rasa of attraction, tenderness, longing, beauty, and the bittersweet ephemera of connection, a living, breathing force that shapes characters, choices, and silences. Not all love stories end in union. Sometimes love lives longer in what is left unsaid. Sringara in all its forms, divine and human, fleeting and eternal, is where the heart of a story often begins. Sringara. Grief. Grief has its own grammar. It does not always speak in sobs. Karuna arises when loss strips away our certainties and softens the spirit. It is the moment a child grows up too soon. The hush that follows a farewell, the empathy that blooms when pain is shared. As I rode through emotional landscapes, I found Karuna shaping not just sorrow but grace, the quiet strength of the broken-hearted. This rasa invites us to witness, not fix, to feel, not flee. Adbhutam, wonder or astonishment. Wonder is the first language of the soul. It gasps, it pauses, it listens. Adbhutam appears when the world expands beyond comprehension. It lives in the vastness of stars and in the magic of a coincidence, reminding us that the extraordinary is always waiting just beyond the ordinary. In every story I've shaped around wonder, the unusual slips in quietly through repressed memories, unexplainable visions, and interstellar whispers. Wonder in these tales isn't loud, drives in stillness, shifts the mood. Adbhutam. Vivasta. Disgust, revulsion, rejection. It hides in glittering weddings, rigid traditions, corruption, and in the seething rot beneath social veneers. Where humanity degrades, this rasa rises, not to shame, but to awaken. Disgust doesn't always scream, sometimes it whispers through betrayal, silence, cruelty. It is a stirring of the soul in the face of what feels morally wrong. It surfaces in the silent acceptance of injustice. Behind each story lies a question we'd rather not ask. How much have we numbed ourselves to survive? I wrote these stories to reveal where conscience flinches, where disgust is a sign that we still care. That's where truth begins. Bebasta. Bhayanakam, fear, dread, vulnerability. It dissolves logic. It is the monsters that we fear within us and outside. As a shiver in the gut, a hesitation in the heart, a memory you're not ready to remember. It coils through family lines, buried in rituals, shame and stories left untold. It wears the mask of the supernatural, traps it in blood and silence. It slithers down the spine of memory. Bhayanakam doesn't just scare, it reveals, and sometimes fear is the doorway to truth. As I wrote, I realized Bhayanakam often reveals more than it hides in confronting the unknown. Characters shed illusions. Bhayanakam. Hasya, laughter, joy, playfulness. The art of smiling at life's imperfection. The strangeness of simply being born on this earth. The awkwardness of living, loving and learning that life rarely takes itself as seriously as we do. The uninvited moments, the chaos we never planned for that often brings the biggest smiles. Meeting someone who laughs with you, not at you. When we laugh, we resist despair. When we play, we survive, and that's where joy begins. Humor is resilience, an elegant refusal to let pain harden us. In my narratives, humor is a mirror where truth learns to smile. It teaches us how to live, messy, imperfect, and beautifully. Hasya. Veeram, valor, courage, heroism. The rasa of bravery, not just on battlefields, but in kitchens, classrooms, and in grief. It is the fire in the most ordinary souls, making the ordinary extraordinary. It is found in stories where characters stand alone or stand up for others. It shines in the bond of relationships despite life's fractures. The bravest are the ones who keep going when every part of them wants to give up. Veeram is this quiet, unstoppable heroism. It is the silent choice to face pain rather than surrender. Courage doesn't always arrive with drums and fire. It is hidden in trembling hands, a glance that refuses to break, or a heart that chooses hope over despair. They may not wear crowns or carry swords, but in their quiet defiance, they reshape destiny. Veeram. Raudram, anger, fury, injustice. Clenched fists behind a calm face, silent fury boiling under restraint, voice rising like a storm. Cold silence, not forgiveness but fury frozen in place. It is the crackling demand for justice. We feel anger when boundaries are crossed, when dignity is denied, when truth is twisted. It rises from helplessness, betrayal, injustice and unmet expectations. It emerges when what matters most is threatened or dismissed. In my stories, anger brews in hidden corners, when justice is delayed, when care turns careless, and when trauma resurfaces. Raudram.
Gentlemen, I extend a warm welcome to you all. I, Mallika Rao, am the host for today evening's book launch program. There is a saying, what the sun cannot see, a poet can. Writers are of a special breed. They are creative imaginative, and they have a different perspective for every event which happens around them. The author, Sheila Srinivas, who happens to be our niece, my husband's sister's younger daughter, it is her debut novel as an author. It gives the family immense joy to see their niece making a mark in the literary field. I bring in the blessings and good wishes from our family and friends and wish Sheila's book launch of her novel, One More Than Eight, Exploring Navarasa, the 9 Emotions, all the success, and may you write many, many more. You all just witnessed the gripping audio-visual presentation of the book, One More Than Eight, which explores the Navarasa, the 9 universal emotions that define our human experience, like love, wonder, sadness, disgust, humor, fear, heroism, anger, and calmness. This was a curtain raiser. I'm sure the book will be equally or even more exciting to read and absorb. Let's begin today's program by invoking the blessings of the Almighty and seeking His blessings through a melodious prayer song by P. Ranjan Rao. I request you all to be seated only.
It's actually a Hindi film song. I'll be singing only a part of it. इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना। इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना। हम चले नेक रास्ते पे हमसे कर भी कोई भूल होना। इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना। हम चले नेक रास्ते पे हमसे भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना। विश्वास कमजोर होना। दूर अज्ञान के हो अंधेरे, तू हमें ज्ञान की रोशनी दे। हर बुराई से बचते रहे हम, जितनी भी दे भली जिंदगी दे। बैर होना किसी को किसी से, भावना मन में बदले की होना। हम चले नेक रास्ते पे हमसे भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना। इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना। Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And Ranjan happens to be my brother-in-law and Sheila's maternal uncle. Now presenting to you on the theme of Navarasa, the 9 Emotions, an enchanting dance drama by the renowned, multi-talented dancer who created a name for herself in cultural field, not only in Mangalore, but in entire Karnataka. A dancer par excellence, known for her abhinaya, rhythm, and grace. Shwetha Arehole, whom we have known from her early childhood days. As a kid, she would participate in Lions cultural program and win many prizes regularly. And when Kishore and I requested her to perform for today's function, she readily agreed. A brief introduction about Shwetha Arehole. She is a dancer and theatre practitioner from Mangalore. She completed her BA journalism at St. Aloysius College. She is the director of Nanda Gokula Dance Company from past 14 years, which comprises of 20 young artists. The team has performed on over 800 plus stages throughout the state. She is also a theatre practitioner and has performed on national level platforms and was also nominated for the Best Female Lead for a play in Meta Awards 2025 at Delhi. She has also performed at Nita Mukesh Ambani Cultural Center, Mumbai. She has done several roles in several Kannada movies. Recently, she played a role of woman warrior alongside Rishabh Shetty in the movie Kantara. Currently, she is pursuing her Bharatnatyam final Vidvat under the guidance of her guru, Srimati Vidyashri Radhakrishna. Shwetha is also trained in Yakshagana, and she is also an active member of Mangalore Horse Riding Academy and has been learning horse riding since past 2 years. Today, Nanda Gokula Dance Hub will now present a dance drama that reflects the 9 emotions that make our lives colorful. Here, the artists don't create the emotions, but instead, they try to create it in the hearts of the audience. This is a show of a roller coaster ride that our hearts go through in the waves of various emotions. The journey from Shringara to Shanta. This might also look like a storybook that speaks many tales. Fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are ready to take off for a scintillating dance drama, presenting Navarasa by Nanda Gokula Dance Hub.
Navarasa, the 9 emotions. Nanda Gokula Dance Company presents a dance drama that reflects 9 emotions that make, break, design, or create our lives. A rasa or an emotion is not seen in an artist, it's created in the audience. So what are we here for? To take you on a roller coaster ride of the different emotions of our life. Opening with Shringara Rasa, that is everyone's favorite, to Shanta, a rasa that looks very easy but is the most difficult to attain, which is also the blend of all emotions. Presenting before you, the Navarasa by Nanda Gokula Dance Company.
Dadin da kertagda dadin da kertagdin dadin da kertagda dadin kertagda dadin kertagdin dadin kertagda da kertagda da kertagdin da kertagda kertagda kertagdin kertagda da kertagda da kertagda dadi gendra da kertagda da kertagda dadi gendra da kertagda da kertagda dadi gendra. A rasa that lures everyone, blossoms every emotion, attracts everyone and beautifies everything. Shringara Rasa. Nilai peyarade, silai polave nilru. Nilai peyarade, silai polave nilru. Neramava dariyamale mega vino.
வினோதமான முரளிதர என் மனமலை பாயுதே அலை பாயுதே கண்ணா என் மனமதில் அலை பாயுதே ஆனந்த மோகன வேணுகானமதில் அலை பாயுதே கண்ணா என் மனமலை பாயுதே உன்னானந்த மோகன வேணுகானமதில் அலை பாயுதே தெளிந்த நிலவு பட்ட பகல் போல் எரியுது தெளிந்த நிலவு பட்ட பகல் போல் எரியுது உந்திக்கை நோக்கி என் இருபுருவம் நெறியுது கனிந்த உன் வேணுகானம் கனிந்த உன் வேணுகானம் காற்றில் வருகிறது கனிந்த உன் வேணுகானம் காற்றில் வருகிறது கண்கள் சொருகே ஒரு விதமாய் வருகிறது அலை பாயுது
Rasa that makes everyone laugh and cheer up. Hasya Rasa. Rasa that shows courage and fills one with power. Veera Rasa. An emotion that sparks astonishment in every heart, mostly through art. Adbhuta Rasa.
गरज आज मेघ घनन घनन छायोरी दमक दमक चमके बिजुरी कहत हरि तू राज आयोरी गरज आज दमक चमके बिजुरी कहत है ऋतु राज आयो कहत है ऋतु राज आयो कहत है ऋतु राज आयो रे निसारे मम मने मम निसारे सा निसारे मम मने मम निसारे इस ऋत के संग रंगी हरित रंग में धरा इस ऋत के संग रंगी हरित रंग में धरा सब विहंग आज रंग देख रंग ये हरा इस ऋत में आज तू भी अंग अंग रंग ले तार की झनकार छेड़ संग में मृदंग ले घुमण घुमण काली घटा धरती का रोम रोम धड़के धड़के झन 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 बरसे गरज गरज आज मेघ घनन घनन छायोरी मक दमक चमके बिजुरी कहत है ऋतु राज आयोरी.
An emotion that fills every soul with compassion. Karunarasa.
ചിന്തി പൊരി ചിന്തള ജോലകൾ ചിന്താരകൾ ചോക്കണതോ മതയാനകൾ മ്ലാവ് കരിമ്പുലി കലിവാഴണ കാനനമോ കരിന്തേളുകൾ വള്ളി കരാളികൾ കരിമൂടിയ വേടനീതോ അരചോര പറന്ന പെരും വടിനായാടിയ കാഹളമോ കരിന്തേളുകൾ വള്ളി കരാളികൾ കരിമൂടിയ വേടനീതോ അരചോര പറന്ന പെരും വടിനായാടിയ കാഹളമോ
Scared, scared. Everything scares everyone, leaving behind the scars. Bhayanaka rasa. A rejection? Awkwardness? Disappointment or disgusted? Bibhatsa rasa. The emotion of anger, the fire that burns everything into ashes. Raudra rasa. An emotion that truly is the blend of all 8 rasas. Peaceful yet chaotic, silent yet full of noise. The final rasa, Shanta.
Atmaramanandaramana Achyuta Keshava Hare Narayana Avidhyanamantasthinira Mihiradepanagire Jadanam Chaitanyastabakam Karandashrutijare Avidhyanamantasthinira Mihiradepanagire Jadanam Chaitanyastabakam Karandashrutijare Daridrara Chintamani Gunanika Janma Jaradha Nimajnanam Dhamshta Muraripuvarahasya Bhavati Daridrara Chintamani Gunanika Janma Jaradha Nimajnanam Dhamshta Muraripuvarahasya Bhavati Achyuta Keshava Hare Charana Bhava Bhaya Harana Vandita Charana Raghukula केशव हरिनारायण
It a spectacular, amazing performance. Yeah, let the applause go on. I request Shwetha to come and accept a small honor, please. I request Sheila, Chief Guest Dr. Ganesh Pai and Lata Pai, the moderator Rameela, please come on the dais, and also Kishore. Now it's time for the formal program to begin. I request our charming author Sheila Srinivas to come to the dais. I request her uncle Ranjan Rao to escort her to the dais, please. The chief guest of the day, them to the dais, please. I welcome our moderator, Dr. Rameela. I request Kishore Rao to give roses to them, please. Let me start with the introduction of Sheila. Sheila is known for her storytelling abilities since young. I remember her mother would say, "Chikkadinda avulu kate kattudalli expert." If we ask, "What did you make for lunch today?" Just it would be a simple sambar or dal. But the way she would elaborate and tell us, "Naan market hode, idu tande, cut madide, dal beiside," it becomes a story only, big story. So it was no surprise for us when she said she's going to write a novel. Sheila Kunjur is an author, psychologist, educational consultant, trainer, and a social activist, supporting underprivileged children through financial aid and organizing enriching programs for government schools. She has over 25 years of experience teaching English, creative writing, public speaking, and theatre. She has authored Look, There Are Words in My Vowels, another book, Sugar, Spice, and Everything Nice, Tales from Neerada's Kitchen. Neerada is her mother, was the mother. Relationship Ragas and its soon-to-be published sequel, Ragas in Ink. Both books co-authored with a collective of writers. Through her storytelling, Sheila Srinivas celebrates creativity and human diversity while exploring themes of magical realism, spirituality, environmental awareness, and philosophy. Her book, One More Than Eight and Other Stories, takes us on a journey that explores the Navarasa, the 9 emotions that have shaped human expressions for centuries. Each story in this collection is a mirror that reflects not just emotions, but the way they shape our lives, our relationships, and our understanding of the world. In bringing these rasas into contemporary storytelling, Sheila Srinivas has offered us a fresh, vibrant, and thought-provoking look at being human. Sheila Kunjur Srinivas assures us that this evening is about experiencing emotions, cherishing creativity, and honoring the power of stories to connect us all. Behind this successful author, there is this man, her better half, her husband, Dr. Srinivas Murthy, the famous dermatologist from Bangalore, who is present here and who is the main source of inspiration for Sheila to become a writer we welcome you, Dr. Srinivas Murthy. Introduction of our chief guest. We wanted a chief guest for today's program, and we immediately zeroed on Dr. Ganesh Pai. Dr. Srinivas Murthy was very particular. It had to be his guru, whom he has known since his KMC days in Mangalore. Dr. Ganesh Pai, known for his proficiency, care, and healing touch, is a senior consultant dermatologist in Mangalore. Dr. Pai, medical director of Derma Care Skin and Cosmetology Center, is a pioneer in laser philanthropist and recipient of the prestigious Professor Khandari Award. Among many other honors he has received in his long and meritorious career. Dr. Pai describes himself very simply and humbly as just a senior citizen whose curiosity makes him dabble in many hobbies like travel, sports, music, reading, managing an animal trust, and yes, dermatology too. He is also the author of 3 engaging books, No Moorings, The Accidental Dermatologist, and The Hamster Wheels of Practice. It's my pleasure to introduce the chief guest of the day, known for his wit, humor, and his joyful personality, Dr. Ganesh Pai, and his charming wife, Lata Pai. I request the chief guest, Dr. Ganesh Pai, to first release the book. Request Sheila, Lata Pai, and moderator Rameela Shekhar to join in, please. The chief guest, Dr. Ganesh Pai, to address the gathering.
Srinivas and Sheila for having invited me this evening to be the chief guest. It's been 37 years since I have known Srinivas Murthy, and a lot of this book has very handsome actors. If you look at some of the people in the stories, they're extremely handsome. They have light eyes, they have tall, they are fair, and I think the building bridge for this was Srinivas. So, because she could not lower her standard once you have such a handsome husband. And I always knew that Sheila, with such a wonderful education from some of the best colleges in Mumbai, would write well, because if you have a thought for which you are scratching to find an idea, you have a dermatologist daughter to help you. And if you are itching to write, you have a dermatologist husband to help you. So whether you are scratching for ideas or itching to write, it's in the family for you to go ahead and write it. So I went through this book, and I must say, one of the best things about this book is there are so many stories and stories within these stories that you can actually start on any story. It's not that you have a continuity from beginning to end. So 20 minutes you can read one. Half an hour, you can read 2. So I would suggest to you that you can start any time, in any page, and still get rewarded. I have also been pulling my wife's leg. I said, I'm going to pick you up this afternoon. What time? She said, 1 more than 3, I said. She said, what is that? I said, 1 more than 3 is 4 o'clock in the evening. So I said, I would have come at 4 o'clock and pick you up. But having gone through the book, there are some wonderful English. Some of the words which have been written here are so expressive, but some of them caught my eye, and I'll tell you which one. One of them is from the story, Born on This Earth, Simple Family Tales. And Professor Prabhakar Rao, my teacher, is a diabetician, and he would like this thing. Well, look at you, my little rose, Sanjana cooed, her voice so sugary sweet, it could have sent anybody into a diabetic coma. So this is a wonderful line. I laughed over it. I pointed this out to my daughter, son as well as my wife. There's also a list of 10 misadventures of my dog. Anyone having a dog can relate to all of this. This is so beautiful. Then, as we go along, you go to page 189. I was mortified to find there was somebody called Dayanand Pai who was blackmailing one of the people. Then I said, oh my God, when does Ganesh Pai come into this? He came in as the chief guest. So thank you very much. And as we keep going along, you will see things such as the Rashomon effect, which I had read long back, which means that Sheila has done a lot of research about putting in things which represent the Navarasas. And then I think finally she writes an artistic will. I'm sure we should all write wills like this. That's because there will be no anger, no hate, no discord in the family. None of the money is given to any of the children or the husband. The artistic will leaves her husband unconditional love. Leaves her beloved children all the wisdom a mother can bestow. And to the grandchildren, eternal, unseen, soul-level connection. So at the end of this, nobody can be disappointed. So where did the money go? That will be in her next book. Now, it's going to go to charity. So thank you very much, Sheila, for having brought out this book. I know how difficult it is to write because it's a lonely job. You have to concentrate. You need to have spare time. And I'm sure that once your daughters got married, you had more time to write this. And also, you need to have a patient spouse. I'm sure that when I wrote my 3 books, between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m., there was so much of silence, and my wife has put up with that. I'm sure Murthy has also done that, because writers go into a trance. When they begin to write, they're in another world, and they would prefer not to be disturbed. So, Sheila has done a lot. If you read through this, she's been a passionate advocate for education, social equality, charity, looking after, supporting underprivileged children, for which please give her a very big hand. And then finally, to conclude, I'd say, every character, everything written in this book is like the 7 colors of the rainbow. So vivid, so lively. 7 plus 2, so 7 colors of the rainbow. 8th is Sheila's writing, which is so precise. And then finally, the 9th is the Navarasa. Thank you very much.
Well, Dr. was his humorous and jovial self. Nice message also he gave. Thank you, Doctor. I request Sheila to present him with a memento, please. A moderator for the program. And who better than this person who is a mental health professional, as this book too deals with human emotions. Dr. Rameela Shekhar, the moderator for this evening, has had her early education in Mangalore and then went on to pursue her studies at NIMHANS, Bangalore. Served as a professor, HOD and Dean, PG Department of Roshni Nilaya for 34 years. Currently, she is the director and practicing as a mental health professional at Manashanti Counseling Training and Research Center, Mangalore, which she initiated. She has conducted more than 2,700 programs for students, parents, teachers, and members of various government and corporate sectors on family life. Yes, she does need an applause. Family relationships, child and youth mental health, healthy personality, stress management, substance use and its effect, prevention of sexual harassment in different parts of Karnataka and South India. She was conferred the Best Educationist Award by the Global Society of Health for Health and Educational Growth, New Delhi. She has presented many research papers in national and international conferences. She was involved in research with University of Cornell, USA, and also a research on internet addiction with Flinders University, Australia, and has been invited to give lectures to students in Norway, in Belgium, and in many more places. The list goes on and on and on. So she's in the panel for mental health in Karnataka Bank, Post Office, and many other institutions. She's in high demand, an extremely busy person. Because she's a close family friend of ours, she consented for the moderation. It is our proud privilege to have Dr. Rameela Shekhar as the moderator. Now, I think this session will be over to the moderator and the author. But before that, I think first we'll hear the writer's perspective, and then over to you both. My job is done. Thank you.
Everybody, thank you very, very much for giving us your valuable time. First of all, the dancers had another program, so they've told my whole story. I thought I had no work left. After seeing the brilliant dance that they performed, as they say, words are not enough. The dance showed it all. So we are going to try to make it as roller coaster and interesting, but it's going to be a really tough job. So I'm Sheila Kunjur Srinivas, and as my dear aunt said, I loved to weave stories from a very young age. So we'll start straight away onto the topic. I just thought I'll read a little bit because most people skip the introduction, and when I read the introduction, the book makes a little bit, there's a little bit of clarity in it. So emotions are the vivid hues that paint our stories with depth and meaning in the mosaic of our lives. They play a significant role in how our stories unfold. Nothing happens in a vacuum. This book, which took 10 years to evolve, is a tribute to the role of emotions in shaping our experiences. I started writing my tales and poems as ideas occurred to me, either through memories, my own and others, or from a spark that ran through my dreams. Few were inspired by the prompts given to us as part of the Writers' Collective. Navarasa, the 9 emotions, have always fascinated me. Our ability to express emotions through our feelings, facial expressions, and behavior is uniquely human. For many years, I've dreamt of writing stories based on the 9 emotions in Indian dance and drama. When I considered how to combine so many topics under one heading, I realized that each story naturally gravitated towards a dominant emotion, becoming its guiding thread. It was a joyous aha moment when I achieved my dream of synchronizing each story with a relevant emotion or rasa. These stories don't follow a strict pattern, as Dr. Ganesh said. Some delve into life's big questions, while others offer escapism through fiction. You'll find a mix of philosophy, personal anecdotes, and even a touch of magic in my narratives. I weave threads of fantasy into the depiction of everyday life. My protagonists are ordinary people whose lives get entwined with the extraordinary. Through their experiences, I aim to explore the nature of reality and help readers gain insight into society and human behavior. As you flip through the pages, I hope you enjoy reading these stories as much as I enjoyed writing them. May they resonate with your feelings and thoughts, offering insights that stay with you long after you finish the last page.
Thank you, Sheila, for that introduction. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mallika, for that beautiful introduction. And the dance troupe really gave us a glimpse of the beautiful Navarasas, which I could see that every one of us enjoyed. And I also want to say that Sheila's family has actually brought out the beautiful emotion of bonding. You could see one uncle singing a song. You can see the other uncle actually ushering all the guests. I think it's a beautiful thing which we rarely find now in our society. So for that, I would always pray to God to keep this family always happy and together. Now coming to the book. Emotions, as Sheila Kunjur has rightly said, is an inseparable part of our life. They shape our experiences. But in the rut of our everyday work, we often forget to recognize them. And we also forget that we as human beings are blessed with the ability to express these emotions. But these emotions are most often not expressed, not even recognized. And that I say very strongly because as a mental health professional, that's one of the problems that I come across in my clinical practice. So, and here I think Sheila has beautifully brought in the philosophy with lived experiences, prompting all of us when we are reading to pause, to reflect, and often revisit certain parts. You won't believe. After I got the book, I had promised her that I will finish it within a week, but I did not because I had to go back to some parts and I don't know whether it's an awe expression or it's a question mark expression saying, where am I? What is happening? And I had to go back and again read it to find out what actually was happening. So, but what intrigued me a lot was the title, One More Than Eight. Because it's beautifully coined, it definitely highlights the concept of Navarasas, but also symbolizes the infinity of number 8, which neither has a beginning nor an end. So I think the first thing I want to ask Sheila to throw some light on this title.
Yeah, that question has often been asked, what sort of title is this? So when I was searching for a title, actually the title came to me more than invented by me. It came first, One More Than Eight. I was trying different titles and wondering what would be appropriate. I first thought real and unreal, because many of the tales which seem real are actually unreal, and what seems very unreal actually are real. So there was this thing, but it had already been taken. And after I decided on the title, I started getting information from literally the universe, telling me a lot of details which I hadn't actually realized. One, as she said, is the infinite and the infinite God. And 8 is again symbolizes life, death, and rebirth, as a continuum of infinity. So one is and 8 together itself is very significant, because a lot of the Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters, and the Taoism has not 18 but 81. So 1 and 8 itself, there are a lot of significant connections. And one of my golfer friends said, and there are 18 holes in golf, very significant. So 1 and 8 is significant, plus 9 itself is a complete number. As you know, 9 Navarasas, the Navagraha, the Navaratri, 9 months of of incubation of pregnancy, and 9 itself is a perfect number, because when you multiply any number with 9 and add it, it always comes to 9. So it's the last finite number before you go to 0. So it seemed to have a lot of significance to me, a lot of spiritual meaning in Buddhism and all those different religions, Christianity too. And my stories, of course, range from pure pulp fiction to spirituality. And there's an infinite possibility when it comes to human stories. So there too is where infinity has come into play. Yes.
Thank you. The prologue, if when you read it, you'll understand. It has a beautiful blend of crime, horror, and romance. It evokes a whirlwind of emotion that leaves the reader intrigued and curious about what's unfolding. I found myself rereading it to fully grasp the nuances. What was your intention behind crafting such a layered building?
Yeah, so the very first chapter created some controversy, because the title of the book, One More Than Eight, is the before the story we call it the prologue. For those who are very good readers, so you'll decide when you'll get the book, they got it immediately. The reason is it had all 9 emotions in it. more or less. And you have to search for it, as you say. And I'm very happy if you'll get confused. Please do tell me. And as I told my other, lot of audience, if you like that first prologue, tell me. If you don't like it, read it again and try to get what I was. I wanted to confuse the audience. I wanted like chess pieces. I wanted people to know that characters can change, in a flash. We can just change people around and make that either good or bad. Because actually everything is in a person, the good, the bad, everything is in us, and it depends on what situation and how we are, which will bring out the good or the bad in each one of us. So that's the interplay of characters. The same characters keep changing, and that was the reason I wanted to confuse and make you all wonder what's going on.
And I think you did succeed in making us wonder, actually. And another part that I really liked was the karunam, the sadness part, where you brought out that, that feeling, the depth of feeling that one experiences in the relationships breakups. That is, I think, which was very beautiful. And your background in psychology was clearly reflected in the synchronicity that you brought out, where emotions portrayed a lot of remarkable depth in it. Do you think you would have expressed them differently without your training of psychology? I know I'm being a little teacher, but I thought I will bring that out.
By the way, we haven't planned any of these questions, just in case you all think so. Yes, I think I'm looking at it from a point of view of psychology. Yes, because to go back a bit, Indian dance sees it both as compassion and pity. Karunam is both. In fact, a dance teacher did argue with me that we talk about it like we feel compassion. So yes, there is pity and there is compassion. The reader feels compassion when they read about these characters. And yes, these characters have come into my life in various ways, because after working for 25 years in the field, and I felt it was important to bring it out in a gentle story form, so that people know that, the trauma that people go. I don't want to reveal the plot, what she's talking about, the first story. Yes, psychology helped me a lot in writing this, the various topics on human emotions and sorrow and pain. Yes.
Yeah, and that can also be seen in the chapter of Adbhutam, where I think you brought in a therapeutic undertone in all the three stories that you share. Especially something that I really liked was the connection or the bridge that she brought in between spirituality and science. And as a mental health professional, these stories resonated deeply, reminding me of several moments from my own clinical practice, where you try to explore the possession aspect that was very sensitively and technically brought in. Would you want to throw some light on that?
Yes. You'd like me to speak about the possession, that fugue? Yes. A lot of these stories, I said, which are real, which sound unreal, are actually real. As she said, the fugue, it was a distant relation who repeated that story. I won't give you the story away. But, where trauma is so great that their memory loss happens, and the person seems to appear in different places and doesn't remember how she has gone from one room to another, and how she is, her personality changes. Now in the village they would do all kinds of pujas and think that it's exorcism and there's some problem with her, but actually, as she says, it's very common thing in psychology and psychiatry that they so traumatize the brain that they forget where they are, who they are, how they try to escape either through multiple personalities or through disappearing into safe places. It's the way the brain deals with trauma. But I didn't want it to be, I wanted to be like a story, a fiction. So I brought in little elements and tried to make people understand that, it's not, exorcism is not needed for these people. They need actually psychological help. So yes, it was my small way of bringing in this, very, very common in Indian women especially.
Absolutely. I think every one of us can relate to it, because once sometime we would have heard of these stories. I just want to also pause a little bit here and ask the audience, when we are talking about some emotion, when we are talking about something, if you all have any questions or any queries, you can definitely put up your hands and we will, I'm sure Sheila will answer that for you. Okay? So anyway, you can stop us and you can definitely come in. We are just taking this, the communication on, that's all. We're taking the conversation on, but you can definitely come in between. Another thing that also highlighted is when Mallika introduced Sheila, she also mentioned about she being a social activist. And if you heard her introduction, she has worked with children. She has worked with children from the government schools. She has taught them the creative thinking skill, which is now so much lost in our children because there's so much of rote memory that is there. So that I think she has brought in. And that book about the vowels, what was the title?
Yeah, look, there are words in my vowels.
There are words in my vowels. I think that was something that is beautifully, and I could see that in one of the chapters where she brought in the social activism was brought out when she talked about the menstruation cycle in women. I think all the women here will definitely be able to understand what I'm talking about because there are so many myths and misconceptions related to menstruation cycle of the woman. The woman is not allowed to touch some things, the woman is not allowed to come inside some rooms, and she brought it. And so that was beautifully brought out. And the anger in the woman, that feeling of why sometimes, a woman also starts feeling, why am I like this? Am I really, unclean? That feeling was brought out so beautifully. Another thing that we struck up, those of you all who have seen, very recently we have all seen this movie, Sue from So. You might be wondering, why am I bringing that? But that one word that comes across that movie is, yes, I'm being a teacher, I'm asking questions. I know that the teacher in me is coming out, is, I'm sorry to use it on the platform, but I'll have to use it because she's brought it in her book, Bevarsi. I'm sorry, sir, I'm really sorry for using that word, but she brought this word across in one of her story titles. And for a moment I was taken back and I said, how can an English novel have this word? I want you to answer that.
Yeah, it's very, in connection to this, I did a pre-launch in the US, in Chicago, where I had a whole lot of Americans and, they said, we got very confused. You've got these Deepas and you've got these, Anthonys and you've got these different names. How do you expect us to understand? And then you've got Indian words in it too. And, I said, firstly, we have read all your Western novels and we make it a point to understand their names and who is a man and who is a woman, all generations and so many generations. Now it's time you understood as Indian authors and all our Indian names and try to get used to it. And I did not give a glossary, except I feel really bad, like I think Bevarsi I did, because it's a Kannada word. Very rarely I did not want to give a glossary because I said, as authors when we had a discussion, they said we don't have to be apologetic about our Indian words. Let them find out what the meaning, just like we look up what's a French word, what's a Latin word, what does it say? We take the effort, we look up Google, we look up a dictionary, let them search for it and understand that it's a flavor of the language, you see. So that's the reason I kept that word, Bevarsi, and felt that title can be given to them. Yeah, just so that people know that, that we have different words and our country is so rich in the words. So I deliberately did not put a glossary, at the end. And yes, I'm glad you noticed that.
Okay. Yes, fear was brought out in so many stories. Heroism was brought out well. And something again, I think which one emotion that all of us express, though we don't want to agree to it, that we also go through this emotion is anger. She called it as Raudram. And I'm sure all of us have used this word at home, that you're showing your Raudra Avatara. And especially for women, many a times I've heard this word saying she brought out her Raudra Avatara. So I think there it manifests universally, and everybody is burdened with pressures and complexities of life, and we do experience this anger in one form or the other. We can't get away from them. Okay? It could be the parent-child relationship. It could be the sibling relationship. But the story is beautifully written with a very unexpected twist at the end that really leaves a very strong impact on the reader. You have skillfully highlighted the stereotypes and the prejudices faced by the women again, and I'm sure when you narrate one or two stories in short, many women in the audience would resonate with the emotion of Raudra themselves. When we have faced this, some sort of uncertainty, some sort of, fear that is there, that is coming from others. We have always faced this. Maybe you could just highlight one or two incidents of your stories.
Yes, sure. I thought I'd read out a couple of things, not too long, because we're keeping a tab on the time. So I wanted to read out, it's called A Scream in the Night. Oh my God, no. Sudhi, no, please have mercy on me. For as long as I live, I will remember the chilling, blood-curdling scream that ripped through that stormy night. The monsoon rains were in full force, pelting down on the Mangalore tiled roof. Outside, the elements were at war. The coconut trees swayed in the gale force wind, and lightning flashed with ominous regularity through the night. Inside the house, it was so cozy, so normal. He was a tall, ugly boy. His back was always in a permanent hunch. He had a prominent hooked nose and a scruffy beard, which did nothing to enhance his looks. None of us noticed the strange glitter in his eyes as he beckoned her to follow him into the puja room. I wish I could turn back the clock and stop the wheel of time. I would have acted differently if I had known anger was simmering its discontent. I would not have left the scissors in the puja room. I would have warned Archana, my beloved Amma, of the imminent danger. I would have sensed that something was off with Sudarshan, her son. I would have told Aji that Bela, Sudarshan's new bride, often sat in her bathroom, crying softly, unaware that every sigh echoes in the stillness of the night. I would have, oh, what is the use of regrets? We cannot change what destiny decides. So that is just, you need to read the rest of the book to know what happens. But yes, anger expresses itself in minor ways and in extremely dangerous ways.
Absolutely.
And yes, as I was discussing with her, when I was asked what are the emotions which are very important, so anger and fear dominate our lives a lot, unfortunately. To overcome anger and fear is a human endeavor. And to reach calmness of mind, which sounds easy, is extremely difficult. And as I was telling her, love actually is it cannot be considered an emotion. It is a state of being. Because love finally conquers all other emotions. Once we have love, all the negative emotions get removed. But we need to overcome anger and fear, we need to become calm, and then we need to have love in our heart. Easy to say, very, very hard to do.
Absolutely. I think she's gone through all these emotions, and she's ended with Shantam. And even the dance drama, you saw it, that they ended with Shantam or calmness, which of course is something that we all want to, we all strive to, but as Sheila has mentioned, it's very difficult. And I think the beautiful part of this book is, with all, like what Mallika said, the roller coaster ride of all the emotions, she ended with a beautiful state of calmness, which is really comes through and makes you feel really nice. I just heard that Professor Ravi Shankar from Mangalore University is here, and he has read the book, and I'm sure he would like to give a small feedback to the author. Sir, you're please welcome to.
A couple of things before I start. He's an old friend, a college mate. We were in college together. Of course, we have consulted him on less fortunate events at Mangalore University, but that apart, I'm here because of that. But the other thing which I should also mention is that I had just 3 days with the book in my hand, and this book can't be read in 3 days, and those 3 days were packed for me because they were all pre-arranged programs from celebrating Deepavali with HIV children and feeding street dogs and things of that kind. They were truly packed days. So I have not read the book. But I have glanced at the book, and it's a different kind of book. Dr. Ganesh came to the truth wonderfully when he said that the book could be picked up anywhere, you could open any page and start reading anywhere. But that doesn't make Sheila an unreliable narrator. She's a narrator in the Indian sense. Her narrative styles come from the Mahabharata. And her philosophical treatises that are embodied here in the book come from anywhere from the Hindu tradition of the Bhagavad Gita to the Buddhist tradition of Om Mani Padme Hum, with which she concludes the book. So it's a wonderful thing, and I think she has used the Navarasas as a kind of a framework, in order to explore contemporary reality. She has done that through very ordinary tales of ordinary people, and the ordinary and the extraordinariness comes through the ordinary in this matter. This is what I have been able to garner from my very hasty glancing through the pages of the book. And in the final analysis, from Sringara in the first chapter to Shantam in the last chapter, I think there is a wonderful attempt here to arrive at truths which are based on the understanding of the reader as a Sahridaya, which is the ancient Indian concept of locating the reader, and of enabling that reader to discover peace, because that peace comes through Shantam, that peace comes through arriving at truths that emerge in the process of living life. The nowhere is now here, as I seem to have read in one of the chapters. The nowhere is now here, and it is from the now here that something substantial has to be created. So I think this is the wonderful aspect of the book. It's a different kind of novel, but who said novels must be predictable? They are not. When Mulk Raj Anand wrote Untouchable so many century ago, then it was considered untouchable. The novel itself became untouchable. When Vikram Seth wrote The Golden Gate, again, it was a different kind of novel, which was novel in poetry. And here too, when Chinua Achebe wrote Things Fall Apart, then you have the last line ending with engineers and reconstruction. And it was said, how could you write a novel like this which ends with engineers and reconstruction? But that is what is needed for Africa, for Nigeria. Similarly, here in this novel, this is what is needed for all of us. Compassion is what is needed for all of us. Not just Shantam, but also compassion. And that is why the prayer Om Mani Padme Hum has such a beautiful resonance at the end of the book. And then don't worry about the words. Don't worry about the use of Indian words. You don't need a glossary these days. Raja Rao wrote his novel Kantapura without a glossary, even in 1935. And today we have traveled a long way where we don't have to use your word apologetic, very rightly so, and we can go forward with confidence. Let me wish Sheila every success with the book, and I do hope that every one of us will purchase mine. Ranjan has given me a complimentary copy, but Ranjan, please allow me to purchase one book today. Thank you very much.
Flipped through the book after I bought it, and it is my earnest desire that we all read the book and meet again if possible. Because that will help us discuss this book better. Because without reading, we cannot respond. The language is good, and I love language more than food. So I'm going to enjoy the book, but I wish we met again, in our private homes and discuss the book again. I want to ask you this question. You have mentioned the 9 emotions. Do you think we can control anger and fear? I feel we can. As teachers, we control our anger and fear. We cannot be devastating with students. We have to be encouraging and appreciative. So don't you think we can control our emotions? Have you mentioned anything like that?
You answer it. Go ahead. No, you go ahead and answer.
Okay. I always make this, comment many a times when the same question has been asked to me. I say, rather than controlling anger and fear, we should be able to manage anger and fear. I think that's the appropriate manner. The difference is when you control, you are bottling it within yourself. So anything that is bottled within ourselves comes out like a tsunami, one day or the other. And how does it come out like this? It comes out in the form of an physical illness, it comes out in the form of a psychiatric illness. But what is managing? Maneuvering it in such a manner that it does not harm me, nor does it harm another person. So I think that would be my way of looking at the managing of anger. And again, the teacher in me has come. If you give me a chance, I can talk for 1 hour on this subject. I am not going to. I am just going to conclude by once again, congratulating her and a heartfelt note of appreciation, because you have chosen beautifully to explore something that is very intricate, very profound as human emotions. Okay, in today's world, we are often rushing through life without even pausing to truly feel or connect. We are saying we are not able to connect. Why? Not because we don't have emotions, but we don't have the time to pause. We are busy. We are so-called busy. Right from a 3-year-old child to a 89-year-old person has one word saying, "Nanu busy agiddene." I am very busy. So we don't pause at all. I think this has given us a chance when we are reading her book to pause and think, what is she saying? Have I gone through this? That's what happened to me when I read it. Have I gone through this? What did I do? I think Dr. Ganesh Pai spoke about the handsome man, handsome men in many. No, sir, I'm not talking of Dr. Srinivas, but I'm talking of the handsome men in the book. My thoughts went back to my high school days of my novels, the romantic novels that we have read. And the way we used to come back to the school and discuss about that, and hoping one day we would meet somebody, at least half that, handsome or something. All those thoughts came back to me. I think that is the beauty of this book. But, and I loved the book because of one reason. I think the storytelling has become a long past hobby. And if all of us here on the stage can remember, we did have our parents or our grandparents telling us stories. But now, as parents or as grandparents, we have lost the art of telling story. Again, because we don't have time, and the children don't have time to listen to us. They have better stories on something on their mobiles or somewhere. So I thought that was a beautiful, remnants that you have brought saying this, you can tell so many things through your storytelling. So that's, for me, that is a timeless and a universal language. And thank you for reminding us and bringing that out. I really enjoyed this book, but I can definitely tell you, as Dr. Ganesh Pai and Dr. Professor Ravi Shankar also said, there are a lot of programs going on, so maybe I wasn't able to read every word, but I did read because I have to do some work here. But I am definitely going to go through again, and maybe I'll go back to Professor Maria's suggestion and say, those of you all who read can come back to Sheila, and maybe we'll meet with a cup of chai. With that, thank you very much to all of you all. Thank you. Maybe if you hadn't called me, I wouldn't have read it immediately, but I read it and I enjoyed reading it. Thank you.
As usual, you are exceptional. The way you moderated the program, the way she brought the essence, the gist of the book, Navarasa, hats off to you. Really admire it. So thank you, and I request Sheila to present her with a memento, please. Now the family would like to honor the author. So I request Ranjan Rao, Nayana Rao to come, and Sheila's better off, Dr. Srinivas Murthy to come. Rameela, please stay on stage. And Dr. Ganesh Pai and Lata Pai to come.
It's my privilege to propose the formal vote of thanks. First and foremost, I thank Dr. Ganesh Pai and Lata Pai for being present here in spite of their busy schedule and inaugurating in a lively, beautiful speech. I have heard his speeches many times and he's always humorous. We enjoyed today also. Thank you very much, sir. The moderator, Rameela Shekhar, being our family friend, she readily accepted to be the moderator today and she did a great job. So we thank her for a wonderful performance in bringing out the essence of the book in a most beautiful way. Thank you very much. I thank my niece Sheila Srinivas. We knew always that she is a great storyteller and she finally brought it out in the form of a book, and because of her we are now famous uncles of Sheila. So that gives us a great privilege in Mangalore to be known as the writer Sheila's uncles. So thank you very much for being here today and giving us an opportunity to launch these books in Mangalore. Thank you, Dr. Srinivas Murthy. Without you, she probably couldn't have written all these stories. She created more stories because of you. Thank you very much. I thank my younger brother Ranjan Rao, who was blessed with a beautiful voice, for bringing the invocation so very beautifully. Thank you very much, Ranjan. I must thank my better half, who is a better speaker, better moderator, better master of ceremony, for conducting today's program most beautifully. Thank you, Mallika Rao, for being a wonderful host today. Professor Ravi Shankar, I thank you for your remarks. In a short while, you have studied the book and given a gist of it. Thank you very much. I thank the audience, who are our family friends, personal friends, and who have visited today in spite of your busy schedule and time, and enjoyed the evening. Because of your presence, we are definitely honored. Thank you very much for being here today. Please enjoy a small refreshment which is available there. And again, books are there for sale, so you can buy your book and get it signed from the author. This is very difficult to get the opportunity again. We don't know when she will come here again. So today you have buy the book, get an autograph and keep it for life. Thank you very much. Thank you very much once again.